What's up guys, Nightingale here, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're covering the Guilty Gear Strive collab information. 2-week notice. Panic time to get ready if you're a new player. Let's teach you how to farm resources and all that good stuff in a video. Alright, so what are we here to talk about is first off, the new unit, which I'm going to pop over to right here, desktop, and we're going to go to the stove page. Let me bring this up right here. Okay, so here we go. We have the Epic 7 Guilty Gear Strive collaboration schedule. Alright, so this is specifically now the Strive collaboration, not just Guilty Gear, now the Guilty Gear Strive collaboration. So, new 5-star hero coming soon. This is the first time in 2 years. Last year. They did not run a new unit. The year before that, they released Untitled Valentine. This year, they're releasing Jacko Valentine. You guessed it, that is Elfelt's sister. So, the lovely silhouette here is meant to be mysterious, but it's quite easy to tell when you look at her who this is. So, who is Jacko Valentine? Here we go. This is her. That's what she looks like. Notice the broken crown. Obviously, she will have similar appearance to this inside of, the game, so we'll have to see what the actual in-game artwork is, but they typically go pretty close to how the game looks. So the question will be for some is, will she wear the mask or not? And what does that look like on her? Here we go right here. Here is the money shot that you guys want to see. You probably have seen this pose before, but this is where it comes from. This is the Jacko pose. Totally not sus. So the question is she going to have the mask on or not? Don't really care. But I'm sure they will. So, for those of you who are wondering, is this unit a must-pull or not? We have no information on that yet. Now, March 16th, take note, March 16th, which is 2 weeks from today, we will have the Epic 7 live stream, which will then cover everything going on with the Guilty Gear collab. What we don't know right now is how long it will be. And we are going to assume a couple things from last Guilty Gear's collab, which I will cover now. So, per tradition, a typical collab, as set by Guilty Gear, is roughly 3 weeks long. When it's a rushed or sped up collab, they cut it to 2 weeks. In this case, I'm assuming because they're releasing a new character, expect a 3-week collab here. What is this basically going to set up for you is probably this. We may get a 3-week-long triple limited banner, which would be great for new players who are going to try to want to get Biken, Elfelt, and Dizzy. What we will not know, and what will they do, is depending on what are they going to do with Soul Bad Guy. Soul Bad Guy has been released a lot, and a lot of people are fed up with the souls that they cannot get rid of. So, it's going to be unclear or not if we're going to get a free soul or not. I hope for your case that you at least are able to obtain one for free. If not, as it was last year in the triple limited banner, he cost 20 of the coins to get one copy. Now, I will cover this as well, and I'm also going to jump back to the game so that I'm not just sitting here blasting your eye sockets out with a bunch of white. We'll come back to this in a minute, because I will want to show you a couple things. So let me make sure that my game is up right here. Okay, so Soul Bad Guy is one of those units that we don't really use often. A lot of people use him for golem farming. I've been using him, I used him actually today in Ancient Inheritance, and I've seen him used in PvP. Now, just keep in mind, this is Ancient Inheritance stuff. I didn't even put an artifact on him. How feels bad. I should have at least put, like, Ancient Sheath stuff on him. So, what I want you to note right there is the text says, Soul cannot be promoted or memory imprinted to other heroes. This is why people are upset about this. It's because several people have Triple S1 and even Triple S2 from prior Guilty Gear collabs. So, I'm not going to say whether or not you're going to be able to get them, but hopefully you can at least obtain one copy, and maybe they get rid of this in the patch to where you can at least do something with him. Maybe at least transmit him. So that you can, because I don't even think, can we transmit Soul? Whoops, wrong one. Can we transmit soul? I actually have not tried this. Transmit. Warrior's Fire. No, you cannot. So, Soul Bad Guy cannot even be transmitted. So maybe they'll do a balance update to where you can at least fodder him away at this point. So that the veteran players just don't complain about collecting another Soul Bad Guy. Now, originally you were able to farm for the hero and completely triple S him. When I started last year, you could not farm him out. You could only get the one copy, which I believe was login reward. Now, for those of us that may think about doing this, I'm one of them. I might go 100 pulls deep, because in the triple limited banner, the way it works is there is zero pity system to this. It's brutal to some, a blessing to others. When you start pulling on this, you need to go in. Let's just go ahead and have this talk right here, right now. When you start a triple limited banner, in this case, you need to have 600 bookmarks ready to go. Do not go into this and expect to pull everything in 600, and don't expect that you won't get anything in 600. Reason being is having 600 will guarantee you one unit. Now, I have been there, I have watched it, and I have witnesses. I've watched friends go on triple banners and get screwed, where they would go 1,200 bookmarks and walked away with a couple artifacts. But they were able to buy the units. Now, for me, I have Biken, I have Dizzy, I have Elfelt. Anything is imprints for me at that point if I decide to go after Torn, Sleeve, and Necro and Undyne. Those are the only two artifacts I currently do not have. Expect Jacko to be on a brand new banner. Do not expect her to be inside that triple limited. If she is, I would be stunned. Personally, you would catch me completely 100% stunned if she wasn't in her own separate banner, so that you can pull her artifact as well as her unit. Now, again, we're not going to hype her up and say she's a must pull. I'm just saying if she is pullable in her separate banner, we may want to look at her artifact, and we may want to look at her unit itself, because we don't know yet what the kit's going to revolve around. We don't know the type, we don't know anything like that, so we are not trying to hype you up. We're just letting you know the information that you need to know going into this. Now, let's talk about what we do know, which we'll start with Dizzy. Dizzy, real quick, we're just going to lightly cover and go over. Dizzy is a PvE goddess from above. She helps you out so much in Abyss. Is she a must-pull? Depends on where you're at in your account and how much do you really want to use her. She can technically be used in PvP. You do have her S3, which is Emotional Gamma Ray, and this is a nasty attack to be able to be used. This is what really makes Dizzy Dizzy, plus the ability to keep those debuffs going longer and combat readiness push back, as well as the chance to stun. This used to be a terroristic unit inside of Epic 7. Has she fallen off? Yes. Is there hard counters to her now? Yes. Dilibet would literally eat this alive. But does everybody have Dilibet? No. Does everybody have Coeric? Or ML Coeric? No. But hey, this is still a good PvE unit overall, or yeah, PvE unit overall. People would typically call her the Abyss Queen at this point. Do you have to have her? No. You can do Abyss without her. Does she make Abyss easier? Absolutely. Especially pairing her with Cyrus and this specific skill right here. Make sure that my head's not in the way. Okay, next up is we're going to jump over to Jack'O Valentine. Now, this one will be situational depending on where you're at in your account. Now, you can see here that I'm missing 2 pieces of gear because I cannot take these 2 pieces off of my actual units. But this is my Katie's one-shot opener. So this is the unit I use for attack buff. This is the unit I use for a defense break. This is the unit I use to be able to land the target. This is my main unit for this. Are there other units out there that can do it? Yes. I believe Leica can technically fill the, or Commander Leica can fill this role with Singelica. But for me, it was worth because I needed the attack imprint, which was the most important thing for me. So yeah, she got a slate personally out of me. But overall, as a PvP unit, this used to work pretty well because you could ignore effect resistance units, you could sleep them. You have the ability, which is right here, you can AoE defense break an entire team. She used to be a cleave opener, but things change, units come around. She's still a good unit. This will determine whether or not you want to go into side Katie's one-shot or not. Personally, I think it was where you're going to hold some value, depending on if they're going to give her buffs or not. She will need Song of Stars, and trust me, the 30 Song of Stars makes a world of a difference in your success rate. I had it at plus 15 and I uploaded, and I said screw it. 900 powder, we maxed it out. But Elfeld overall is still a cool unit overall, and this is Jacko's sister. Take a notice of the eyes. So if we get it, I'm sure the eyes will look very similar. All right, and then last but not least, let's talk about the Banshee Queen, Baiken. Now, this is where people may or may not have to make the choice, but I'm going to give you an out. I will give you an off-ramp here. Baiken is godly for Banshee because of this. Because she splits her attack between two, she takes a slightly less gear requirement to do Banshee one-shot. What do I mean by this? Bam. Absolute trash gear. Believe it or not, this is trash gear. My Baiken was way better than this in the beginning. Trash gear, yes, she's faster because my other units are extremely fast, so yours will not probably be this fast. But overall, it's still a decent Baiken, and this will one-shot it. Why? Because it splits the damage between the S2 and the S3, allowing the bleed detonation to also help in terms of damage. Now, here is your off-ramp. Baiken can only be used in Banshee one-shot as far as any of your one-shot comps go. I've seen her used in PvP, and it is kind of nasty. I'm not gonna lie. I have a friend who's got one built for PvP, and it's quite trolly, it's cool, but you gotta know how to work this through, so don't expect it there. I will give you your off-ramp right now, really quick, and that is Euphine. Euphine, if you decide that you are only pulling her for Banshee one-shot, and you're also looking down the road at potentially Asmonak one-shot and Katie's one-shot, Euphine might be a better investment because you can set up your one-shots to actually house her for all three on one build. I have a friend that comes in chat, and he specifically uses her for Golem one-shot, I believe, or can use her for Golem one-shot. I'm pretty sure on this one. But he uses her specifically for Banshee one-shot, Katie's one-shot, and Asmonak one-shot. I'm going to double check and verify with that. So if you guys end up asking or say she doesn't, I will double check, but I'm pretty sure he can do it with it, especially with the gear quality he has on hers. So if you decide that you need something else later on, you can potentially skip Baiken and pull her later on. Or if you have her, you may want to think about it. Just putting this out there. Okay. Now, talking about Jacko will be if she is a separate banner, that means you will need roughly 605 bookmarks to pity her. Now, this is where I'm saying you're going to have to start thinking about resource management, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit in just a second. You will need 605 bookmarks alone to pity Jacko if she's new and she's busted. Well, she's new and she's busted, and she's not on the triple banner. You will need at least 600 bookmarks to pity one unit off of the triple banner. The difference is along the way down, no matter what, if you get five stars or no 5 stars on the way down, you are guaranteed one unit at the end. That's why the triple banner can be so good, is because like myself, I ended up getting really lucky. I got Miss Confile, I got Dizzy, and I believe I got Elfelt on the way down. So all I had to do was buy Baiken out of the shop at the end of my 600. Some people got unfortunate and got a bunch of torn sleeves, it was Necro and Undyne was the one that they got a bunch of, and I think they got a torn sleeve. And they didn't get Miss Confile. And they ended up having to buy Baiken, they ended up having to buy Dizzy and Elfelt, or Dizzy and Baiken are the ones they ended up buying. Actually, I'll have to double check with him. I can't ever remember. It's been a long time. It's been almost a year. Actually, April 1st was when the Guilty Gear dropped for us a year ago. So, here's the hot list from this. Depending on where you're at, it may be Dizzy. It may be Baiken. Elfeld is going to be situational depending on where you're at. Miss Confile is a hot artifact. A very, very hot artifact. Let's pull this up and show you this, because this is something else we want to cover. Torn Sleeve isn't that great, and Necro and Undyne isn't that great. But Miss Confile is definitely a wonderful ranger artifact. 45% chance at base plus 15 to defense break for 1 turn. As you can see, I've got it on Cerise. But this can go on other rangers, but typically Cerise is one of the main holders of this. PvP units did use this, depending on the random tech. Occasionally you'll see you're wondering why did a random ranger, or randomly get death broken. Then you see that there's a ranger and they're going, Miss Confile's here. So this is definitely a hot artifact. Is this a must pull? Depending on where you're at, it may or may not be. So, now talk about artifacts. If you go into the banner and you do not get any artifacts on the way down, but you get all your units, artifacts cost 100 coins. So you will need 100 coins to get this once. Now, is this bottle worthy? Yes. If you don't want to spend the resources, this is technically a bottle worthy artifact. But also think about other artifacts out there that technically are still bottle worthy, which is Guiding Light, even though I personally say it's a dead artifact because Malim exists. But I know a lot of people still believe and really will push Guiding Light. So we'll go ahead and I'll acknowledge them and say Guiding Light is definitely one of those that's a bottle worthy. And so is Rengar's Special Drink, which is Seaside Bologna's artifact. I believe even people with Summer of Syria think or need that as well. So depending on where you're at in the game, bottles are kind of your strap for. Draco Plate would also be one, but we're going out, I'm just saying this could be a bottle worthy, but note that there are other bottle worthies out there. I've been using mine at plus 15 and had okay success with it, but does that not mean that at fully maxed out, which I believe we will pull it up here just so I'm not wrong on this, because I would like to make sure that you guys have the proper information here, especially when we're dealing with limited units and trying to get you guys prepping early. Miss Confile at max is a 60% chance to defense break. Okay, cool. So 60% is still better than 50%, but it means you will have it's either it hits or it doesn't hit kind of thing going on. Alexa's Basket will probably proc more than this, and that's 40%. That's the disgusting part. My Alexa Basket procced actually better at plus 15 than it did plus 30. But that's just the meme beside it. So 60% chance to defense break, which is still really, really powerful and really, really annoying. Okay, now, here's where we're going to start tying a bunch of stuff in, and then we're going to talk about Jacko here at the very end. As far as resource management, here's what you need to know to start getting the maximum amount of resources ready. You guys need to be doing as much hunts as absolutely possible when it comes to getting Skystones and bookmarks. This is a great one, and gold. If you need the gold, you're going to have to do hunts. Reason being is because of Secret Shop. Now, I will put this warning out here now in this video. I am seeing a trend that this may be bugged. This is complete speculation. But all of a sudden, randomly, I am now scoring a lot higher in Skystones per bookmark than I normally ever did since they updated. And they started including the Revenge and the whole update recently that added that. Not to scare you, just go in and do this. Take note of your Skystones. And look at how much you get after 1,000 spent. If it is 16 Skystones per bookmark, and I mean per bookmark, so you're going to buy a package of 5 per 1 bookmark. If it is higher than 16 Skystones per bookmark, stop for the day. Try again tomorrow. And keep working your way down, because I think that there is a bit of RNG in this that revolves around reset. But I also hit 2 really bad days in a row. I also scored the highest I ever scored at 22 Skystones per bookmark after 1,000. I have never seen it that high ever that I have not been able to work it down near instantaneously. I have a friend that I do trust that is calculating numbers, and he showed me some that makes it promising that I just got really bad luck twice in a row. It's fine. For as lucky as I've been overall, I will take a little bit of bad luck. But I want you guys to know, this is where you're going to get it. Now, here's the numbers for newer players that haven't watched the Secrets of the Secret Shop guide. A pity takes 22 million gold to buy outright. I think it's 22,400,000 actually. But you also have to account for Mystic Metals. So I roughly tell people it's 30 million, about around 35 million per pity. And that's going to count for some bookmarks along the way from mystics and guarantee you the 605 later on. So plan for a drop of 30,000 or 30 million gold, and that's roughly around 10,000 sky stones to do that. Now, where are you going to be able to get sky stones as well? Okay, so if you are good on the gold department, but you need sky stones and bookmarks, hunt or adventure might be better for you. Which, good news is, we've got the adventure side story right now for Ha Young. We've got it for Vivian, and I'm sure as soon as those drop off, there will be the Guilty Gear one as well. So make sure you're doing that. Ancient Inheritance right now has bookmarks available in it as well. Buy those. Make sure you are farming at absolutely as much as possible, burning as much energy as you can. Pay attention to your Heart of Orbis. Do not let this cap as much as possible. I know it seems like a small thing, but this is 27 sky stones when it's near maxed. I think it's 24 at like 98%. 24 sky stones per max when it procs. This is great. That's a ton of sky stones influxed. This is now the time for you people like myself, even though I've got 73,000, I'm doing it anyway. Make sure that you're working on arena as much as possible. The big key factor here is keep your NPC battles on cooldown. I cannot stress this enough for new players and veteran players, especially lazy veteran players who let this slip. This is 3 sky stones every few hours, depending on the rotation. You're gaining sky stones here. This adds up. Then the next one is the arena information. If you have not pushed, try pushing. Push a little further. Try to gain a little extra sky stones. Me, I'm personally doing it because I'm memeing a team that's really fun, and it's just, I'm kind of curious to see how far I can go. But I'm doing it as best I can just to see what happens for the first clear rewards, as well as seeing that I'll increase my sky stones by 200 a week here. So try to get that up as best as possible. Now, I know for newer players, arena is a lot harder, but still, try to get as high as you can, because for you, resetting at the end of the week at 480 is technically better than resetting the week at 450. Anything counts. I can't tell you how lucky I've been. Within 10 refreshes, I've pulled 15 bookmarks. That's huge, especially if you're getting close to pity. So any little extra sky stone counts, because it's only 3 per refresh. Remember this, it's 3 per refresh. So, work on your arena as best as possible. Guild Wars. Take your fights in Guild Wars. It's extra mystic medals. Just please do that as well, just while I'm here, while we're talking about, just resources in general, so that you don't feel tempted to take the mystics at the end of arena. As long as you're doing that, you shouldn't need to do that, and go from there. Let's see here. The other places that you want to get sky stones from is, at this point, for newer players and maybe players who haven't focused so much on story. If you have not 3-starred everything, please make sure you go through every single one of your stages and 3-star. There is a crap ton of sky stones in the game baked into this. Plus, not only the sky stones you're going to get from the actual reward of clearing the stages, but also the bonus ones from recording for finishing the area, plus the ones you're going to probably get along the way. So there's a lot of sky stones to still be had in the game. The other place that we want to talk about is, let's see here. We've got it covered in adventure. We've got it covered in hunts for bookmarks. So we've got that. That should take care of it. And now we'll talk about the elephant in the room for those of you who do not have gold. This is specifically just a conversation for us.
Take your time.
If you have gold, you need to do the other way. If you absolutely need to, and I've done this on stream, there's proof of this. I've bought this and done it this way. 950 sky stones for 50 bookmarks. This is technically still a good deal. It's expensive good deal. But if you have the gold, refresh. It is way more valuable to spend your resources there. Just be careful. If you are sitting up at the high range of 19's the cap, that's what this costs. This is when I say 19 sky stones per bookmark, you're coming here. So if you work up past this, it's technically better and you probably are losing gold. and technically bookmarks, but there's a lot going on there. I will hopefully be having a video in the near future that's going to cover the secret shop update if there needs anything to be updated. If it's just bad luck run on my end, I'll also make note of that there. But for you guys who have no gold and you have the 11,400 Sky Stones, you can get 1 unit out of this. This is your last ditch effort. I'm going to be honest. This is the last ditch effort. Never come here and do this. Never, ever, ever, ever. Click that in one sitting. Don't do that. Buy it one at a time, as annoying as it is. So that if you pull the unit that you're after early, stop. Save your Sky Stones. Do not full invest into this because you may end up going on a shop refresh later on. Okay, so now that we've covered that, I want to give you guys a couple insight tips of what I think you're in for, because tradition holds that one of their skills in the game that you're used to seeing is in Guilty Gear. As I will show you here, if we go to, we're going to go to Dizzy, and we go to Journal, Heroes, and let's see here. All Heroes, Mage, Dizzy. So that you get an idea of what to expect as a cool hint towards what their S3 animation's gonna be. This animation is one of Dizzy's skills in the game. This is one of her finishing moves. So, what does that mean for us here with Jacko coming up? Let me make sure I've got this here. And there's a good chance that this is probably her S3 or something close to it. Most likely, we will get something along the lines of this as an S3. Pretty cool animation, not gonna lie. So, for the next 2 weeks, you guys need to conserve as much gold as possible. So, stop rolling gear if you are gold strapped. I know it's hard. I did it for about 3 weeks, and it turned out that I got a lot of resources spooled up. I actually had 3 pities ready, but I was also a brand new player, and I had a lot of resources incoming. But I was able to basically get 3 pities built up. Between one from the actual bookmarks of just collecting them overall from stuff I was doing, to the 2 hidden in Sky Stones on average. So, cut back on your gold spending. Try selling all of your light fodder, so your green and your white fodder, maybe even for some of you, your blue fodder, depending on where you're at. I would still make sure you're breaking down your reds and your purples so that you're getting the maximum amount of cores to craft gear when it comes time to really needing to maybe make that special piece, because I burned through a bunch of mine. So I definitely say at all points, always at least break those down. But blues could potentially help you out as well, selling those to get as much gear or to get as much gold as possible. Do as much hunting as you can for gold, and you're going to get a decent amount of Mystic Metals and a decent amount of Sky Stones along the way there. Thankfully, we have a hunt buff coming up this weekend. So, hunt as best as you can and spend as much energy as you can. Actually, I will go ahead and I will quickly hit on all the energy just so that you have it, so that nobody can say, I didn't mention this, or why didn't you cover that? So this is going to drag the video out just a little bit longer, but I promise this will be worth it for those of you who don't know where it is, and this may be your first time watching one of my videos and haven't watched it. While I do have an energy video on resource management, I will show you where all the energy is. You have daily energy inside the web event. Right now, it's Hammer Game, and Chloe here is extremely trolly. But you will get 200 energy a day here. Plus, you will have a chance on winning, I believe, on this event to get energy out of this, which is another 60 energy. You also have the energy here to get one time. This is a one-time energy, but go ahead and you think you have to play the event once to rate it. But you'll have 60 energy there. You will have, inside of your event news, there is 100 energy in here. Your stamina will refresh. The more you play the game, especially for newer players, if your energy doesn't say 154, it's from achievements, it's from playing the game outright, leveling up, things like that. So you will get your energy out ticking from there. You will now also get energy from a couple other places. One, I won't need to show you this because it's technically inside the guild. So if you're not in a guild, join a guild. If you're on global, I technically have 2 guilds that have a few spots left. And then I have Plots Are Us, but I don't know if I need to open that up yet because I don't have, I've completely shut it down for the moment, but it's there. So you have other energy, which is from your friendship. You have 40 energy here. So there's a little extra. This one's expensive, and I save this for emergency uses for me because I don't do arena a lot. I typically only do the normal battle, so I don't get a ton of this. But if you do arena a good bit, you probably have a decent bit of the conquest points here. I've got 1,367, but during hunt buffs, I do buy these at all times, just because it's extra free energy. Guild will give you up to 80 if you have it, or 70 if you have it. Actually, I will just go ahead and check it. No, it's 80. Okay. So it's 80 energy from guild, but you're guaranteed, at least from us, the 50 energy. Now, the other place to get energy from, which does cost money, for those of you who do have a little bit that they like to throw at the game, if you haven't bought it or you've let it slip for whatever reason, it is the monthly number 2. It's 70 daily energy that is permanent, that sits in your mailbox up here. If I can click on the right one, which is the one that says unlimited right here. And then do not forget that daily you will have Archie giving you 100 energy. So you have a lot of energy coming in. Try to keep this at spent as minimum, which you will see here. I'm gonna have to spend some energy in just a little bit because I have 5 hours left and all of this needs to be spent, as well as I need to pop this and go work on a video. So this is your all-in-one, try to get you guys ready for Guilty Gear Strive collab. We've got Jacko coming, which is the new unit. We're going to have the rerun of Biken, Elfelt, and Dizzy, probably in a triple banner. Soul will probably still be the free unit. We just don't know if we're going to get him or not. I hope so, because I kind of want the dupes, because I want to have him triple S and be done with it. Good luck. It's a lot. For new players, I remember what it was a year ago prepping for this, and I'm happy I got lucky because it now means this time it's a lot easier on me coming around. For veteran players coming back to the game as well, good luck. Hopefully you've got the resources and get the units that you've missed along the way. Best of luck to you guys there. If you guys have any questions, I will be happy to try to help out in the comments below. I know this is a earful and in a lot of information in a lot of amount of time, so I'll help out where I can. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.